Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader, and there weren't a lot of big sales for the vintage collection this week, so I did put together just a few items that are still for sale for those of you that are interested, kind of like last week, just to give you guys a few options in case you want to spend some money. But just want to say thanks to everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. We're going to start off with case shells. I've gotten like 1,000 emails over the years for, hey, who's the guy that sells the acrylic cases or the clamshell cases for vintage collection? These also obviously fit the vintage Kenner items. But Tom Hogan is a friend of the channel. He runs case shells, and he has a bunch of different options in terms of the number of case shells per order. 6, 15, 9, 50, 25. So lots of good options there. And in the in the video description for this video, I did include an affiliate link that will take you to his main page. And he doesn't sell just the case shells. He also sells graded comic books, ungraded comic books, G.I. Joe Classified, all kinds of good stuff. But very trusted seller, lots of interesting items on his store page. So go check it out. And again, in the video description, I included a link for his main page. All right, so some other items that sold. We're going to start off with a heater. This one sold, and this was a factory error. Actually, one of the more common factory error miscards. This is the Off-World Jawa from Arvala 7, but it has the Clone Trooper Echo inside the blister. And there were a number of cases of these that all shipped out that were all the factory error. I have no idea why this happened. He looks nothing like the card back, but that's what happens when you've got factory workers in Vietnam who don't know anything about Star Wars. Hey, sure, he looks just like the card back, whatever. I don't know. But anyway, this is a very common miscard. There's been at least a dozen of these that have shown up either on Facebook or elsewhere. I picked up one, and I had one in my collection that I picked up on eBay from a UK seller. It seems like most of these factory errors were in the UK, and this one was no exception. This one sold for £1,000, which is $1,323. That's a big number. I would not pay that number personally for this particular miscard character combination. This is one that should be priced in that, I'd say, $400 to $500 US range, maybe a little more than that. But this one, there's been a number of these that have shown up. I would guess I know there's over a dozen, but I forgot the exact number of them. There was somebody, I think Mark Chaplin over in the Facebook TVC group was tracking the number of them. He can chime in for us as to how many there were. But the last time I remember, there was like at least a dozen of them. So all that being said, this one did sell for £1,000. But if you see another one pop up, do not pay that number. That's a number that you reserve for very rare miscard character combinations, and that's not one of them. Some vehicles that sold. We had the Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter from the Revenge of the Sith. Somebody was asking me about that. Hey, how much should I pay? And I said $100 to $125 in the email, but this one did sell for exactly that number, £95 or $125 US. So that gives you a rough idea of what to pay for that one if you're looking for it. This is a big number, and part of it could be the currency conversion, but this was the Amazon exclusive TIE Interceptor from 2013. At least over here in the States, $275 to max $300 is about what you got to pay. Now, this one sold over in the UK for £255, which equates over here to $337. That number is, probably influenced by the crappy value of the US dollar relative to the British pound. But that's at least an idea of what it sells for in the US is about $275 to $300 US, which probably puts you in that 200 to 225 pounds. But this one did sell for 255 pounds. This was a AT-AT with the ESB packaging. This one had a kind of a big crease on the box. It was still factory sealed, But that one did sell $500, best offer accepted. Probably about $400 would be my guess on that one. I forgot to look up the best offer accepted on anything in this video, but that's another that's a pretty low price if you can get it in that $400 range. If the box is really primo, then yeah, you could pay $500 or more for it for the ESB box. But that one had a pretty big crease in the upper left-hand corner. Power Droid had a few sales. I didn't include everything that he sold, but I wanted to at least show a few that sold this week. This was the Revenge of the Jedi R2-D2 from the Jabba's sail barge with the drink tray. That one sold for $70. That was the offerless Revenge of the Jedi unpunched. So that was from the SDCC box set. That one did sell $70. He also had the foil General Grievous. That one sold for $130. And that's, maybe a little more than usual, but not that surprising given that he usually has, or almost always has, the case fresh cards. So, and they ship in the star cases. So that one sold for $130. I believe one of you messaged me and bought this one from Power Droid. So I want to say thank you, whoever bought this. I believe that you used the affiliate link as well. So I really appreciate that. This is the Canadian Boba Fett VC09 ESB card back, and it has the Boba Fett error on the offer for the rocket firing Fett. So that one was listed for $200. He said he got, or she got, an offer for $175. Actually, they sent me an Instagram message. That's who it was. It was like Vera Fett or Laura Fett. I can't remember. So I apologize that I forgot who sent it, but I just want to say thanks for using the affiliate link on that one. So really appreciate that. But that was a really nice card, and a little bit more rare. You got the Boba Fett offer on a Boba Fett card with a Boba Fett inside, and it's the error. So very cool. I like that one. But that one did sell $200. Best offer accepted was $175 according to their message. The only reason I show this is just to show you how far Loot Crate has come down. I mean, for a while there, this was $85 US on average. And then it got down to 60. And honestly, I hadn't really seen much lower than about 50 or 60 bucks. But this one in an auction sold for $28. Now, it did have a crease in the upper left, so take that for what you will. But I do want to, I found several that sold in that $40 to $50 range. So that one is dropped a lot in price, So very interesting. Now, this one looks to be the European version. With the multi-language warnings on the back and the paperwork inside the blister, and the front is a different ages 4 and up. So this one is a European variant. So I don't know if there's any value difference there, but I would think that it's maybe a little more expensive than the US card, which is more prevalent for VC146. But this one was the European version. But even still, that still sold for 21 pounds, admittedly with a crease in the upper left-hand corner. But you don't often, for the newer TVC 2.0, you don't see many variants for the card backs. Obviously, the one that comes to mind for me is the VC129, I believe it is, for Dr. Aphra. That one does not have the label in the warning label in the upper right, and is a European version. That one is very pricey, $300, $400, $500 or more for that one. But there's only a few like that. There's not many, but this was clearly one of them that received the European card back treatment. Next up, it's crazy. I've got a number of different Ahsoka sales. This is the original from 2012, VC102. This one was unpunched, US card, $90, best offer accepted. This one sold for $80. Again, beautiful example, very mint looking. And then a graded one sold over in the UK from that same seller that's had a bunch of very nice UKG graded TVC. This was a UKG 90% gold level, original issue VC102. And in an auction, it sold for 75 pounds, which is $99. I mean, that's unbelievable how much this one has dropped. It's just crazy to me. And that is wild. So that one sold for 75 pounds at an auction. Same seller also had a UKG 90% Joe Castanew, the Brian's Toys exclusive. That one sold for 125 pounds, which is $165. So that's a little bit bigger number there. Next up, we've got an AFA 8.5 Sand Trooper VC112. Unpunched. That one sold for $250, best offer accepted. Ungraded, these go for $120 $20 or so. So I'm guessing that one sold closer to 200 or less for an 8.5, but it is graded, so you might pay a little bit more there. This one sold for $248. This was an uncirculated 85 for the VCP-03 rocket firing FET. $248 there. Star Wars Galaxies had a CAS 95 for the Off-World Jawa Elder. This was the Razor Crest pack-in version, and you can see there 95, 90, 95 for the Razor Crest exclusive version of the Jawa Elder. That one sold for $215. This seller had an AFA 9.5 for the Howler exclusive version of Sabine Wren. And that one is on the larger card back, but a 9.5 is tough to get for any card from AFA. So it did sell for a big number at $250. They also, same seller had the Fan Channel 2-pack exclusive Ewoks cards. The Wicket was graded uncirculated 9.0. That one sold for $159. And then the Nisa, I don't know how you pronounce that Ewok's name. That was also a 9.0. These were from the sealed 2-packs, so you would expect those to be pretty good grades and uncirculated, obviously. So that concludes what actually sold. But I wanted to also let you know that apparently Darth Revan VC301 has been, back in collectors' hands. They did another kind of iteration, I guess, of production line. And so those are readily available on eBay now for very reasonable prices. So this seller has 7 available for $30. Remember, these used to go for over $100, which was crazy, but you never knew if they were actually going to re-release Darth Revan or not, but clearly they did. This seller's got 7 available at $30. And again, all of these are in the video description. This seller has 6 available at $25. So, I included 2. One of them's cheaper than the other, but just in case one of them sells out, I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware. For those of you that were patient enough to not pay $100, well, you got rewarded for it because you can get it now for $25 or $30. Some other items that are for sale right now. We've got a VC96 Darth Malgus. This is a US card, unpunched, in very clean condition. That one's listed for $59. Pretty nice deal there. And then this seller has all of the HasLab Ghost pack-ins. I think I only showed 2 of them, but I've got the Kanan Jarrus for $70, which is right in line with market. And then Zeb Aurelius is $40, and both of them are in star cases, so wanted to let you know about that. And then this seller has 9 available for the new Asajj Ventress, in case you're still looking for that one. VC364 Asajj Ventress. This seller has 9 of those available, 33 of them sold. So, again, in the video description, there will be eBay affiliate links for all of those items that are for sale. I just want to say thanks to those of you for watching. Really appreciate it. Be sure to leave me a like, and I'll be back soon.